I purposely did pictures showing my butt because I wanted people to see my butt get boosted so you can see a huge change in my butt. Go look at my before pictures. What more proof do you want? Look at this. Well, Carl, I gotta show you. Look at that.
Yeah, six pack right there. We're talking about the booty boost, literally activating the glutes with our activation method that rounds, firms, and lifts the butt. We got to go there. Like, I don't want you to hold anything back. Nothing to be embarrassed by here. Hi, and welcome to a really cool episode of the BODi Experience. That is because this program that we're going to talk about today has been something that people have been asking me for as the CEO of BODi for literally the last 4 years. And apparently it's a bit of a trend these days. And we're talking about the booty boost. We're not talking about surgical enhancement. We're not talking about anything untoward or superficial. We are talking about literally activating the glutes with an approach, our activation method that rounds, firms, and lifts the butt. People are getting results. But don't just take my word for it. I want you to meet somebody who got such amazing results and was so enthusiastic about her results that she actually was then cast to be in the program so that she could share her experience going through the test group with all of you. So please welcome to the podcast, Christina. There she is. Look, we've been trying to put this together for a couple weeks now, and I appreciate your flexibility. But I got to circle around to the early days when you first found out about this program and the concept. Obviously, you can choose anything to do. You're a dancer, you're a performer. How you look is a part of your trade craft. And what was it about the idea of a 30-day booty boost that made you apply to be part of the test group?
Well, I'm a fan of BODi, so I know I've had success with BODi in the past with programs. And when I saw that they were doing a test group for booty, I didn't know it was Booty Boost at first. They're just like, "Do you want to do a test group? You have to have weights. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely! I'm a huge fan of BODi. Like, yes." And I actually kind of fell off a bit. I'm in the entertainment industry and I started a couple comedy shows and they took over my life. And I'm sure you can understand this. When you do something like that, you just do so much business behind the computer, delegating, navigate, and I wasn't working out at all. So I knew that this was an opportunity to kick my butt back in shape. So I grabbed it.
Okay, so you find out what the program's about, and my understanding is that you had some specific motivation once you did find out what it was about that you wanted to achieve. So we got to go there. Like, I don't want you to hold anything back. This is real world, nothing to be embarrassed by here. What did you want to change, and what was your particular objective?
Oh my gosh. I was so happy when it initially was called Project Peach, and I was so happy that it was about building up the butt because, unfortunately, I used to have a butt naturally when I was younger. I used to have a butt, but then as you age, you get flat butt, a pancake booty, which I was starting to get, and I was like, "Well, I guess this is just what it is." I would do squats, but, like, nothing would help, so I was beyond happy to see if I could build up my glutes, and I didn't think it was possible, to be honest.
It's sort of fascinating to me because I think most people think that genetics are really where the booty comes from, and that, it is a very large muscle group. So you get these metabolism benefits. And I don't know why it gets so attacked as we age, meaning that's where the body sort of reduces muscle mass and it undermines your overall metabolism, hurts your posture, your hips, your knees start to weaken because of it. But you were also a very active person. um, were you dieting a lot or something? Like, why do you think that you were losing the muscle mass?
Oh, well, I started these comedy shows for me to perform more, but what ended up happening was I was sitting at my desk for the past almost 4 years behind the computer booking it and putting out fires. So I think just being so sedentary, even though I was active, but I was still sitting a lot, so I felt like I was becoming skinny fat. I call it skinny fat, and, uh, flat pancake butt, and I think it's really from sitting so much. I don't know, do you think that that's possible if you
Well, no,
sit a lot?
that's actually they call it dead butt syndrome because we sit literally, that's what like, it's like almost a clinical term. You're sitting so much that obviously you're going to see the biggest reduction or loss of muscle in the
Mhm.
biggest muscle first, right? So the smaller muscles, you wouldn't even notice it because they're small, so you're losing a little bit. So the fact that we all sit so much, sit behind a computer, we're working, we're talking, and yeah, they literally call it dead butt syndrome, and also known as pancake butt.
Wow.
So tell me about the experience with the program. Did you do it in person with Chase?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you're doing it in person. I really want your honest opinion of, like, day 1, week 1. What was the experience?
Oh, boy. I had gained some weight, even though I wasn't, like, obese, but I had gained some weight from where I was, and I was very concerned about getting injured. Because I didn't really know I've never done, like, lifting, weights. I'm more of a dancer, so I'm like, "What is lifting? Heavy lifting? Heavy weights? What?" I was a little intimidated, and also things I'd never done before, muscles I'd never really worked before. I was really sedentary, so, yeah, it was very intimidating that first week.
Yeah,
It was
so
very
what did it feel like? Because I think for a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you, it happens to me every time I'm lifting and I grab 50-pound dumbbells to do a chest press or something. I'm like, "Should I really? This doesn't seem responsible. They seem too big." Like, was that part of the intimidation? Like, even if you could do the move, it just felt, like, intimidated? And how big of weights were you working with at the beginning?
Well, I was, like, trying to do as much as I could, but it was, like, 10s, 20s, because I was like, "What is this?" At first, and then once because I was trying to understand the concept of even heavy lifting because I come from that mindset of, "Oh, I don't wanna be She-Hulk," I don't wanna lift, like, heavy, heavy. I like 10s, I like Let's Get Up with Shaun T, I like that he does the 8s and 10s and you move around and dance around and do it. I did that program I don't know how many times. Like, that's more my speed, so I was kind of like, "What language are you speaking? Alright, I'll try," you know?
So how did that feel? Because that's a new kind of fitness for you then.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, even though it was hard, even though I felt like I was out of my body at times, because I was like, "What is going on?" It I felt so like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna cry." Like, I felt so, like, proud and, like, invigorated right from the get-go. Like, because it was challenging, and even though I didn't get everything, I still did it. I got through it. So I was like it made me feel so good, and it made me wanna keep going because I knew the more I did it, the more I'd understand.
That's really interesting. I want your honest answer. Like, you said that the first week was a bit intimidating, but you got to choose how heavy to lift, like how
Yes.
big to lift. Did you ever feel like you were out of control?
Well, also but I was in person with Chase. So, she let us, but she also didn't. She would push us right from the get-go. She'd be like, "What are you lifting? No, no, no. You can lift harder than that." Right from the beginning, she was like that with us. She was a little hard on us. And she goes, "You know what? You hate me right now, but in 3 months, you're gonna love me." And by the end of that month, I went up to her and I was like, "I already love you," 'cause I had lost 7 pounds and I was getting so, like, fit in the first month alone. So, but yeah, I don't know if I answered your
Yeah.
question, but
Yeah, well, ultimately, again, I'm trying to address this issue, what I would call resistance fear, dumbbell fear. These things are heavy and people's their arms are not necessarily as strong as their glutes. So you gotta move around a dumbbell to get it in position and do moves that, gosh, it just feels almost unnatural. But you were able to manage it even though Chase was maybe pushing you past your comfort.
Mhm. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I guess I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, I'll speak for myself. I realized by even the first day, I liked weightlifting because it's kind of fun. It's like it's a challenge. I just like it. I think it's not boring to me. I could feel myself getting I'm like, "Ooh, I can see how I'm gonna get defined doing this on day 1." So, even though, yeah, that first day was a little tough but I was feeling good after it. That is the honest to God truth.
That's one of the reasons that the I think the company is special is, it's quite forgiving of real life, but, oh, there's always something there that's like, "Hey, that's an interesting new challenge. That's an interesting new goal for myself, like a little project for myself." And I think that, whether it's a 25-minute speed train or dig in or dig deeper or 21-day fix or now 30-day booty boost, it's like, I've never done anything like that before. Let me go through this process. So, fast forward, tell me about the changes that you felt and saw after one round of 30 days.
Oh my god. I mean, it's that program's amazing. Also, following Portion Fix. The mix of the 2, oh my god, Carl, I felt like I was flying. I felt so good. You just keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and it's like, "Oh, I surpassed that, scale amount that I wanted," or all of a sudden, "Oh my gosh, my waist went down an inch," you know? So, that was cool when I saw I lost 7 pounds in the first month, that was cool.
And how did your clothes fit? I mean, you're really reshaping and building. What changed in terms of your wardrobe?
It was a big difference with the bikini and stuff like that. I'm trying to think because in that time, I was really putting my all into the program, so I wasn't really going out much. So I wasn't really wearing anything besides my workout clothes. But yeah, I where I started to really notice my clothes is now with that I'm, going out into the world. I lost 7 pounds and lost some inches. It was a huge difference. It was insane. I wanna do that booty boost. I don't know how many ti I wanna do it for a year because it's so good.
Now, you're going through this. At what point did you get approached, and what was it like to get approached to actually be in the workout videos themselves?
Oh my gosh, that was the coolest. I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna bring it," and I went and auditioned. I didn't think I was gonna get it. I was like, "Oh my god, look at all these people." But, I was acting like I was gonna get it. But I was very intimidated. But yeah, it was the best. It was the best feeling ever, especially from where I was coming from before. I'll remember this as one of the best times of my life, to be completely honest with you.
I think it's so cool that um, from doing the program one time, that you were willing to go for it, show up for the audition, and then give it everything you've got. And I think that you're just a terrific part of the cast. You really did a great job. And the program is fantastic. It looks great. Obviously, everybody knows what they're doing. But you don't feel like you're just working out with professionals. You feel like you're working out with real people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you need to see. And the fact that you had to go through the nutrition plan just like everybody else and experience it. But we also added the P90X line of supplements, particularly obviously pre-workout, critical for getting the most out of the workout, but then also the protein and the creatine so that we are supporting the building up muscle and activating the muscle fibers for growth and for power. Did you have a good experience with the supplement stack that we provided?
Oh my god, you guys are brilliant. I don't know who comes up with it, uh, but it is so good. I loved Energize, I love Recover. This P90X is like another level. At first, I was, like, a little intimidated because it's 200 milligrams of, caffeine as opposed to 100, which is Energize, but, because 'cause I'm a little sensitive to caffeine, but it's perfect, and matter of fact, I stopped having that extra coffee, like, because it carries me, so I'll have it I love the pre I gotta I love the pre-workout. I'll have the pre-workout every time I work out, and then that's it, and it's so good, it's so tasty. I'm trying to I'm trying not to get hooked on it though because it's so good. Because I don't wanna get it to the point where it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna just work out because I get to have the pre-workout."
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I do the same thing. Like, that's one of the reasons that I always have my pre-workout sort of staged for me, because I know that if I roll out of bed and take it, it's on. Like, look, you pulled the pin in the grenade, it's time to go off. So I totally get it. And I'm glad that you had a good experience. I mean, some people, when we said that we were adding P90X supplements to 30-day booty boost as the recommended line of supplements, people were like, well, wait a minute, is 30-day booty boost extreme program, an extreme fitness program? And my answer is any fitness program can be as extreme as you lift with it. What we want, though, is formulations that are specifically designed to support muscle growth, muscle building, and help get that firmer, lifted booty that we're promising. But here's my sort of my last question. Actually, I have two, but let me ask you about this, because you wanted to build and get the results of the booty boost.
Mhm.
Were you at all concerned that your thighs would also grow, that you could get thicker legs or anything? How did you feel about that, and what was your experience?
Me personally, no. I know body. I'm a big fan, and I knew that I was gonna look good because 'cause I've had good results doing workouts before. So, I know that, like, I knew that I was gonna look good. That's why, like, I jumped. I did not walk, I ran and jumped, and I begged, like, because we had to interview for the test group, I was like, "Pick me. What do I need to do?" I literally said this, "What do I need to do for you to pick me? I don't care what time in person is, I'm there. What do you need me to get? Yes, I will get that right away." Like, because so I wasn't worried about my legs, but I'm shocked at how my legs look now. My legs have never looked like this. They're fit, like, it's tight, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm liking how I look?"
So, there are thousands of people who would look at a video like this and either think that you're a plant, or that you're paid for it, or you're in the cast. So, of course, you're going to say good things. And they're going to be thinking twice about it, or thinking, I'll just go to the gym and I'll show up and I'll put my own thing together. I'll do squats, I'll do hip thrusts. What do you say to somebody who thinks they've got all the answers, or, who doesn't necessarily believe that you're as authentic as I know you are? Like, what do you say to somebody who's on the fence, but still wants these kind of results?
God, because 'cause I'm one of those people. So that's where it's so funny because yeah, there's nothing that you can really say to those people because, it's too bad they've been so screwed over in their lives, you know? But it's true, because here I am ranting and raving, but, like, look at my before look at this. Look at this. Well, Carl, I gotta show you. Look at that.
Yeah, six
Would
pack right there.
wouldn't you be happy? And this is me after eating all day today. This is what time is it? 4 o'clock. Eating all day? Go look at my before pictures. What more proof do you want? Like, I can wear whatever I want. I wore this today because I could never wear this tank top because I'm so ashamed of my arms. They were, like, really big on my body, and never could wear tank tops ever because I was so embarrassed, and here I am, like, I can wear whatever I want. I have a six-pack for the first time in my life. I don't know. If you look at my befores, purposely did pictures showing my butt. Like, I got a bikini that was showing my butt because I don't care, 1, and I wanted people to see my butt get boosted so you can see a huge change in my butt. You know?
I really appreciate it, and I knew when we said we want to talk to somebody who used the program, who was in the test group, and who experienced without embarrassment what it's like to get a 30-day booty boost. And I really appreciate you sharing so liberally with us, and the and obviously super proud of how happy you are with your results. You seem like you feel good in your own skin, regardless of the how it looks on the outside. You just seem like you feel really good. And I'm just super grateful that you went through the program, that you were available to be in the program with us. And I think people are going to really enjoy working out with you when they do 30-day booty boost.
Mhm. Oh, good. I hope so. I hope so, and I hope they're not cynical about it. At least try it because Chase is really good. I really loved her as a trainer, and I think she's gonna be a great addition to your team, and you guys changed my life, so I'm so grateful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christina. It's been great working with you. And I don't even know how to represent something as well as Christina just did. This is what this program, what people have been asking for. They want a rounder, firmer butt. We designed it with a method that gets fast results, with a super trainer that knows what it takes, and obviously a cast that is proof the product works. So the program comes out in June. We have a group that I believe launches on June 15th. So all you need is a subscription to BODi and you can participate. So if you're looking to firm and shape the largest muscle in your body to get the benefits of the metabolism boosting of having that muscle really firing for you, get rid of that dreaded pancake butt and dead butt syndrome, we've got the solution for you with the 30-day booty boost. I'm Carl Deichler. This is the BODi Experience podcast, and it's your turn to get a 30-day booty boost. Thanks for watching.
The experiences and results shared in this podcast may vary based on effort, consistency, and goals following BODi's exercise programs and nutrition plans.